Ever wondered why you never feel good after watching the nightly news? Aside from it being blatantly fake and a narrative-spun propaganda, it's also intentionally fear-mongering, and it stresses you out. This is because invisible higher-dimensional dark entities, archons, feed off of these negative energies and emotions that humans are conditioned into giving off. Before we can understand what the Loosh is, we must first understand what our life force is. Your life force is the essence of who you are, your life energy, your soul, your spirit, eternal, undying, your connection to the source, and your connection to all that is. This life force is yours to give, if you choose. It cannot be truly taken, but you can be tricked into giving it away. If you choose to acknowledge your divinity, it is reflected back to you as love and oneness, a celebration of unity. If you allow it to be siphoned away, and if you allow it to be used to energize and empower dark forces, it's lost, and you are left with nothing. The archons, the dark cannot create, it can only destroy. The dark manipulates you to become their energy source, to compensate for the living energy that they cannot access. This is also known as looshing. At the top of the pyramid, shown here, we can see the highest level, malevolent extraterrestrials, or higher dimensional entities, which are believed to be the Anunnaki, creators of the Earth Matrix system. The Archons and the Anunnaki both harvest negative spiritual energy, or Loosh, from the human slave farm, across the astral plane of the dead, or from the suffering of any living creature, mainly humans on Earth. The head Archon is known as Enki, Lord Lucifer, or Satan, who is the supreme leader of the dark forces that plague Earth, including the negatively oriented Greys, Reptilians, and Jesuits. The Freemasonic Jesuit cabal has even instilled the symbolism of harvesting adrenochrome and Loosh, which of course is negative spiritual energy. It's instilled throughout children's movies, like Monsters, Inc. In that movie, we see various types of monsters, which in reality are actually variations of the overlord reptilian and archon species. To put it plainly, the reptilian species require either stem cell-rich blood or adrenochrome, especially in vril reptilian parasite cases, and the archons require our negative, low vibrational spiritual energies as their preferential source of energy consumption. If you've seen the movie, you'll also remember in the movie that the scream canisters fill up red, which is symbolic of adrenochrome, and the scream harvesting is symbolic of low vibrational spiritual energies being harvested. In addition, the movie logo itself represents the all-seeing eye, or the pineal gland, or Eye of Ra, which is where the adrenochrome is harvested from after torturing the children, and it's where the soul is believed to sit until a certain level of vibrational ascension. Here is an example of the non-physical looshing archons materializing and being caught on video camera by Richard Bruce.
I look like I've lost it. But I'm testing for demonic indwelling, okay? Because I'm thinking that the demon can't keep up. Okay, here we go. Ready? Alright, so with this one, this really freaky demon on my wrist comes out. And you can see it right there. Look at the nose of that thing sticking out of my wrist, guys. And this is really freaky and weird. By the way, I know a lot of people who don't know me might see this and ask if I've got like some sort of weird situation where I'm turning into a monster or doing weird stuff. As a result of this, I can tell you no, I'm actually a pretty normal person, but I've discovered that you can see demons with video in particular. I haven't been able to notice it with still photography, but I think it's the speed and the light and certain elements involved where you can see these life forms, which I believe are demons, but I will also be reasonable and say I do not know what it is exactly we are looking at. But what you can see here are what looks like changes in my flesh. These are not changes in my flesh. You see that big nose-like thing sticking out, and what looks like two eyes and a teeth full of mouthful of jaggy teeth. This is not an actual change. What's happening is apparently, well, I know it's not a physical change because I know I'm not a physical shapeshifter, and some people have said it's DNA, and I do think that there are shapeshifters with enough DNA to shapeshift. I think that's definitely possible, but in this case, I'm a pretty aware person, and I would know if I was shapeshifting, and I'm not coming up here and telling you a lie about something. I do not physically shapeshift, and I would have noticed it. But what you see here are what appears to be physical changes. See, that's not the way my wrist looks at all. I mean, look at those lumps. You can see my watch there below, and then you see these weird eyes, and there's even a face above that face, but you can see what looks like almost like a bird beak, and these two eyes, and this is just so weird. And also, I don't notice anything strange on my wrist. I mean, I don't notice it, itching or, some weird sign language or something all of a sudden. I mean, this is just plain weird. I mean, I also got demons on the back of my head and my hair, which you'll see. I do not know how these things affect the way you're thinking or whatever, but what I can tell you is that I'm a fairly normal person. I don't all of a sudden start talking like some crazy person, like you see some people on the street, or whatever. They start talking to themselves or speaking weird languages, or waking up in the middle of the night with candles lit or something like that. I'm a pretty normal person, but you can see here this is definitely not normal, or at least it doesn't look normal. But according to demonologists, I don't know if that's a field, but the people who know about demons say that everybody has demons. Almost every problem we have can be related back to demons, from psychological problems to diseases. So this is a common thing. But look at this, man. I mean, this is so weird. I'm looking right at this now as I'm making this recording, and it just blows my mind how weird this is. I mean, this is sci-fi on a grand level, but this is on me. What I've realized about these life forms, because you can see it has a mouth, it has teeth, is that they don't make any sense from our physical standpoint. That's the thing that's important to realize. If we try to think of it from our physical, logical terms, it's just not going to make sense, because you see misaligned eyes, you see these jaggy teeth, which, if you think about a living being, it wouldn't be able to eat properly with teeth like that. It's like these big cone-shaped teeth. So the idea that these creatures do not make sense from a physical standpoint as we know a living being highly lends itself to the idea that we're looking at demons, and these creatures can apparently pile into a human being by the thousands. And Chris Lasola mentions that they can come in at various times. A certain trauma can cause demons to come into you. So there's a lot about this I don't understand, but I will say that, like here on my arm, you see what looks like reptilian scales. It may be that somehow the camera picks up on the reality of that being living inside the person, because otherwise, looking at this, I would have said I'm a reptilian. But look at that face, guys. Look at that face on my wrist. Can you see the eyes? You see the eyes there? And the nose? Of course, that looks nothing like my wrist. You know, there's not that huge bulb sticking out and those weird shapes. What's happening is somehow what the camera sees distorts the flesh so that it's seeing and these faces, if you look at these faces, they look evil. They look like they have this maniacal grin. Like right there, it looks like an evil dinosaur beak man. You see the eye on the right, and those scales and those bumps reaching up. Look at the way it looks. You can see the eye, and you know it's really confusing. We don't know, you know, obviously why this is occurring.
Knowing what Loosh is and who needs it, and how the Archons and Enki works to get it, can better help you to generate as less Loosh energy as possible. I hope you have learned a lot from this video. If you have liked what you've heard, feel free to subscribe, leave your comments below, and feel free to watch a few other new videos that P.S. Montgomery uploaded to the channel this PM. Until next time, folks.